Yo, what's up? It's your boy shemaiah.james. We are out here and we is getting it, son. There comes a point in time in every person's career where they start to hit this kind of lull period where everything's starting to plateau, where you kind of find yourself not really improving anymore. And this was my year where that was becoming the case. I'd like to welcome you. You've come on a journey with me other way. This is before 20. Why would I want to have it any other way than the way that I have it right now? I did have another year in future where that was the case, where it just seems like everything that I was trying to do was not going right. I couldn't improve, and I'll tell you about that in another video, because I used to only train once a week. At this point, I don't think I was training, other than the one odd night that I'd go down to the track, to the little athletics track, and maybe do either a long jump session or like some type of running session. And I know that I hated every single running session that there was, hence why I'm paying for it these days when I put titles out like I am the slowest Jamaican who has ever existed, and that's a damn fact, and I know that, son. My training, didn't used to really go that well because I didn't necessarily want to be that invested in the training. Doing back at the little athletics days, I did this all through high school as well. When it came to school training, is I would end up going and doing like throws events, because I told you, your boy was a thrower. Hence why I got to states. I even made it to Pacific School Games when I was 11 for discus. So think about that for a second. With my old coach, I remember the first time that I jumped 5 meters was when I was 11. But I remember after I had jumped 5 meters a couple of times, maybe even for the first time, I did stuff like this where I was jumping from the 5 meter long jump board. And then I eventually had to do that when it came to little athletics and like under 14s and 15s, because the pit at Deception Bay didn't go for far enough, and by the time where my feet would slide, they would hit the majority of, or pretty much the end of the pit. So I was having to take off from the 5 board if I wanted to make the pit. But anyway, let's get into what we're here to talk about today, which is what I've been doing well in these last couple videos and how I've been progressing. So as a 12-year-old, so like I said, this year was the year, god damn it, I was flatlining. Everything wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. I didn't know which way I wanted it to go, but I knew it was up. This is stuff that you should probably already know just from reading the title. My progress slowed down a lot. As a 12-year-old, that was the time I made my first little athletic state team for the under 13s age group, but we'll get to that. So back in those days, that whole like first bit of the year is just training. I was playing basketball, I was breaking ankles. I think that was actually the first time I got my ankles destroyed, and this was at like state basketballs. And I thought I got the coolest shoes on the block out of every 12-year-old kid that there was to ever exist in all the time. These shoes were just some like pretty much like Converse type shoes. They were just so low cut. This is my ankle. These shoes came up to like here, son. When I got to the competition, I wasn't much of a baller then. Someone disrespected me, destroyed my whole existence, and that's when this ankle went like that. This ankle went like that. I ended up rolling both ankles. Someone put me in a wheelchair. I did the second one myself, but the first one was bad. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, had to come back from that. When you're a kid, stuff like that recovers really easily. I wish I still had the same thing today, otherwise I wouldn't be dealing with this damn ankle injury a year and a half later, nearly 2 years later, god damn it. But that's another story for another day. Get into the school season. We're grinding it out. I'm doing my 1s and 2s. They trash, like always. That's never going to change. It never changes into the future, so you're just going to hear that quickly. I'm going to quickly brush over that, because we all know my times wasn't quick. You don't want to hear that. I don't want everyone laughing at me. So I did long and I did high jump still. Long jump, get through to states. Do well at states, ended up winning it again. I may have got a record, would have jumped just over 5 meters. Regionals, I jumped like a 65, because that wasn't as high as I jumped the year before. States, jumped 170, and then went to nationals in Sydney. Went to Sydney, go to nationals, 172 is what I ended up jumping. That gap wasn't much higher than what I had done the year before. I jumped my long jump, and that was a 5 meters 54 at the nationals. And I think that got the win. 172 was still pretty good for my age. It got better. I just remembered another point. Where am I thinking I'm stagnating? I'll tell you in about 2 minutes time. Fast forward, we get to Little Athletics. My older brother Cheyenne has the Little Athletics record. He has jumped 12 meters 12 at his Little Athletics Nationals for under 13s. And that was a Queensland record. I think that was a national Little Athletics record and a club record. And I was like trying all season to get that. Jumping 11 meters, 50, 60, 70s, and like all the time. Got to regionals, like 1170 again. Got to states, I think I jumped 12 meters for the first time there. Jumped like 12, maybe 20. And then got into this state team, got in for high jump, got in for long jump. I don't know if I got in for hurdles, because I was a hurdler back then. Your boy was a hurdler. I was like state champion. Some years I was state champion for Little Athletics. And like every year for nationals, for club nationals, I would have been able to make it in for hurdles. But mom was like, you're not doing hurdles, Shem. You do too many damn events already. My mama didn't say damn, obviously, because she's a nice lady. She was like, you're doing too many goddamn events already. You stupid. I wish you were more like Shy. I was like, I'm trying to be like Shy. I'm trying to beat him up. That's another story for another day as well. The Little Athletic State team. And guess where your boy gets to go? He gets to go to the most exciting place, wherever there is. Do I get to travel? Hell no. My booty gets to go all the way to UQ. Just down the road. Well, not really, like an hour drive. So it is like pretty much a whole nother country from Burpengary, from where I grew up. I don't know, for some reason this whole Little Athletics Nationals experience seemed like such a different experience for me. I was like, it just seemed like there was so many new faces, so many people that I'd never seen before. Ended up competing against a lot of these guys for the next couple years. I think that was the very first time that I ever met Emmanuel, ever got to compete against him. Pretty sure I jumped like either 550 again or 570. So I'm not exactly sure what medal I got. If you know in the record book, you should let me know that. Triple. Now this is the year that I got to get my international age record, and it was at this particular competition. I'm pretty sure some dude was going like head to head with me, and then it was raining as well. I'm like, I wish I had the pictures still. I know that like on my mom's computer back at home, but I had my Justin Bieber haircut back then. I know, I looked good. Y'all seen the pictures. I look beautiful. I had to like, you know, just slick it back real quick. Ran down, still trying to beat that 12:12 that my brother had done. No, I did a 12:54. I think that's the legal international record. And then I did a 12:69 jump, which that was the windy international age record for the TJ, which I didn't find out till like 3 or 4 years that was a thing. And for some reason, I hope it's still up at this time, but it has been the record still. High jump, it was like a close competition with whoever I was versing, and then I ended up jumping 175. I got the win. Long jump I lost. Got a win in high, got a win in triple. So I gotta flip it back real quick. Darcy had jumped 5 meters 16, so this was the first year this month. No, this was the second year that this dude was driving me insane with how far he was jumping, because he beat what I got the year before by 3 centimeters. And anyone that knows us two knows that this dude was all in my ear about how he destroyed me. Frustrated me. From that Little Athletics Nationals is when I went into high school. Obviously, like still 12 at this point. My birthday is not till July. We had the down under competition, which is usually at the very start of July. So this was just before I was about to turn 13. Did a triple, 12 meters something. Okay, there was a high jump comp. This was like the first like time that like my father had ever really come and watch me compete. So I don't know, I got pretty hyped. Jumped like out of my skin that day. My PB was 175 before going into that. I was getting to verse like international people for the first time, and I was just clearing height after height, like 175, 178, 180, then 182, and then that was my PB for a little bit until we got into the school season for the next year. It didn't actually turn out as bad as I thought. It was still a pretty good season. I did have the progression, and then we got into 13 years, and then who knows what happened there. I do, but that's for the next video, so we'll talk about that then. Just make sure that y'all have all been keeping up to date with all the videos that we've been watching so far, so make sure they will all be below in this little box area down here. You can see the previous videos there, so go and get it. Be loyal, be a subscriber, be on the Shemaiah James wagon, wheels. where we chewing. And we will catch you in the next video where we will talk about the 13 years age group. When we get into high school and we start really grinding it and going up like this, and then up again, and then I'm excited to tell you about the 14 years age group. Apparently that age group was like a pretty ridiculous age group, but we got 2 more videos till we get there. We'll see you in about a week's time for the next one. Alright, I'm out. Deuces.